Edgerrin James got by the first two defenders and falls for 3 yards. 2nd down and 7 for the Colts. Manning's first pass, little flick. Dallas Clark dropped for a 3-yard loss. Landon Johnson starting today for David Pollock. Put the hit on him.
Well, Jim, we were talking about what environment would you feel here today. The Colts, their kickoff coverage team, it did a good job. Nobody opened down the field on Peyton Manning's first throw. The defense is fast, it's aggressive, and it's feeding off the crowd right now.
We call it 3rd and 11, and Stokely has come in. He's at the bottom of your screen. Cincinnati showing blitz. And here they come. Flags are down as Manning fires it over the head of Stokely. And Simmons was applying the pressure on the quarterback. You see anything there?
Could have been delay a game. Peyton Manning got the football snapped exactly at 0. Or it could be offsides on the Bengals.
Offside, defensive nose guard, 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
We'll get another shot at 3rd down as you see Marvin Lewis, the head coach of the Bengals in his 3rd year.
Well, the Bengals, they just lined up offsides. No, they didn't. I'm sorry, they jumped offsides. Ifeanyi Ohalati jumped offsides, trying to anticipate the snap.
Sets up 3rd and 6. There's Stokely, has the first down, and strides out to the 38, gain of 16.
Well, this Colts offense, they handle crowd noise very well. They're used to it. They practice the no huddle constantly. Brandon Stokely in the slot is going to fake going across, and then when he stops to come back the other way, that confused the defense. Keywan Ratliff cannot catch up. Tough pattern to cover when you do that.
That offsides penalty was a big one. And the Colts now 1st down at the 38. Clark in the slot to the left. Take the handoff to James, going to the right side. Harrison has the grab near the 1st down yardage. In fact, they'll mark it all the way up to the 50. Good for a first. Gain of 12.
Chuck Bradsham, look at this. Just one guy out here, safety in the middle. Defensive coordinator for the Bengals says you cannot fool Peyton Manning when he sees nobody but one corner to the outside, Marvin Harrison. You got to respect the speed. They're going to have to give up the long passes to the outside in situations like that.
Catch number 899 in Harrison's storied career. He has averaged more than 6 catches a game in his career. That's the best all time in the history of the league. 1st down from midfield. And Edgerrin James has running room. And another first at the 39 of the Bengals. Tarek Glenn helped free him for 11.
Different formations. We've had a couple play actions, now the draw play, and it takes a long time. And a good job by Tarek Glenn getting inside and getting the block and let Edgerrin James get out in space.
So the Colts come right out and put together, to this point, an impressive drive from the 39, another first. Good fake, good play action by Peyton. He'll come right back to the man. He faked the handoff too, and Edgerrin James is out of bounds at the 33. Give him 7 on that one. Now you talked early, Phil, about how the Colts really enjoy the big game.
You know, one of the first things they said, Jim, they were happy when they found out this game was moved from 1 o'clock to 4:15 because they, like you said, they enjoyed the big stage. They want everybody to see what they can do.
That's Reggie Wayne, and if he can get outside, he is shut down at the 18. Looked like an open lane down the sideline. Jeff Saturday, Dallas Clark out there throwing some blocks.
Remember, a lot of these plays are called right on the field by Peyton Manning if he wants to change it. and just the array of different plays and different formations we've seen in this first drive, it's got to make a defense sit there and sit back and go, what's coming next?
Manning has hit his first 5 attempts. Back to the middle they go with James inside the 15 to the 13.
I'll say this, when you play the Colts, last year they were quick strike. They made big plays down the field. This year, most of the defenses are back. They're trying to make them go play by play to get down the field. And Peyton Manning, he says, we're showing patience, and they're getting it done.
Not only 5 for 5, but the 5 different receivers. Edgerrin James with a swift move for another first. Now goal to go for the Colts. Jake Scott, as everyone on that offensive line has been named to this point, throwing key blocks on the opening drive.
And you know, I look at this drive by the Colts. There we go. They know this is going to happen. It could be an injury on the field, but defenses, if they want to slow them down, somebody acts like something's wrong with them, you got to stop play to make sure the defensive player's not hurt.
Watching the tape of last week's matchup against the Texans, this is something Houston did a lot against Indianapolis. It's Landon Johnson who is down. Like to welcome those of you who saw the Raiders defeat Washington 16-13. Big road win for Oakland today. Welcome to Cincinnati, and the Colts and the Bengals just getting underway. The opening kick to Indianapolis. The drive started at their own 17, had an early 3rd down conversion, and they have now taken it all the way down to the Bengals 7. 1st and goal to go. You see Landon Johnson shaken up on the last play, which was a run for a first by Edgerrin James. We now bring in the audience who saw Jacksonville prevail on the road, winning in Nashville 31-28. Jags winners today, and Jim Nantz, Bill Sims, Bonnie Bernstein here in Cincinnati. Peyton Manning has hit his first 5 passes of this one. Colts taking the opening kick, and they've driven down to the 7 of Cincinnati. 1st and goal to go. Rhodes is the running back for the first time. It's Rhodes. It's about halfway home. 2nd and goal from there.
Boy, it's so simple when you watch his Colts offense, because they have so much talent, and Peyton Manning is so good at getting them in the right play. If the defense is back, they run it. If you crowd the line of scrimmage, that's when they throw it.
David Pollock has come in to the Cincinnati defense. He did not start today. Landon Johnson shaken up, replaced by Pollock, the usual starter. Has been nursing a knee sprain for a couple of weeks. 2nd and goal, and back again. It's Rhodes driving, and is he in? Yes, touchdown Indianapolis.
How big was that offside penalty that the Cincinnati Bengals defense had on the first 3rd down situation? They're playing pass. Look, there's not a lot of people at the line of scrimmage. Peyton Manning told everybody, went to a trap inside. Good power running by Dominic Rhodes. For
Dominic Rhodes, that's his 4th rushing touchdown of the season. An 83-yard drive to open the game by Indianapolis. Vanderjagt adds the extra point, and a quick 7 for the unbeaten Colts. Dominic Rhodes from 4 yards out. 7-0 Colts. He had a leg drive to get it to the end zone.
Well, Jim, it's about knowing the situation, where you're at on the football field, and when you call a running play in a situation like that, it's about power, determination, and of course some good blocking up front. Now what a way to quiet a crowd down. And you know, I just go back again at how much the Indianapolis Colts look forward to playing in big games and situations like this. And Tony Dungy said, regardless if we get off the slow starts and it doesn't go well early, that our team doesn't get rattled, because we know sooner or later our offense is going to get rolling.
Well, he said, you know, we're confident on offense, and that's what you need in a hostile environment. We don't mind going on the road at all. And as far as the big stage, which is certainly what we have here today, for some of you joining us late, they're billing it here in Cincinnati as the biggest game in some 15 years. Well, Tony Dungy said we've been in enough of them that we're pretty much able to just go out and play.
And I'll say this too, the Bengals played against the Steelers in a similar situation a few weeks ago, so they should have learned from it.
That's Cap Perry picking it up on a bounce. Shifts past one tackler, gets out to the 28. Let's bring in Bonnie Bernstein.
Jim, it's interesting you guys talk about Tony Dungy saying his Colts don't get rattled. That's precisely the message Marvin Lewis was preaching to his team this week. He told the Bengals, no matter what the score, do not flinch. Go at the Colts for 60 minutes. Lewis firmly believes this is a team that was built to play Indy. He said, we've got defensive backs who can cover the deep ball. We've got a quarterback in Carson Palmer who's completed 70% of his passes. We've got running backs and receivers who can counter Indy's defense. Keep in mind, the AFC North has some good defenses in the Steelers and the Ravens, so they know what that's like, Jim.
All right, Bonnie, Carson Palmer with his first snap from the 28. See how they respond to that opening drive by the Colts. And the flip to Reggie Kelly. So dangerous. Over 800 receiving yards on the season, and a flag as the Bengals no huddle here at the start of the game. So Freeney and the Colts called for the penalty. First down for the Bengals from the 41.
Jim, you know this Colts defense may be a little surprised, but not a big deal. They see this every day in practice. No huddle.
This is Rudy Johnson, and that's 5 for Big Rudy. Second down and 5 for Cincinnati. Bushman-Zada to the left, Johnson to the right, and they're going to go right back to the ground with Rudy Johnson. Pummeled as he got near the first down yardage. Broke away initially from Gary Brackett, and they'll spot it. It appears just shy, about a half-yard shy of the first.
Well, as you look at this Indianapolis Colts defense, they want to see if the Cincinnati Bengals can run the football. Tony Dungy told us last night, we are going to play safe and we're going to play back, stop the big pass, and see if they can pound the ball at us and get it done running.
Trying to sneak for the first, and it looks like enough by inches. Well, what about the Bengals matching up against this Indy defense?
Well, here's, Jim, you look at this. Tony Dungy, like we said, they like the attention. This game's not going to bother them. And Cincinnati, Marvin Lewis, he said, we are built for games just like this, and especially against teams like the Indianapolis Colts. It's about our skilled players, defensive backs, wide receivers, running back, and of course the quarterback.
Well, they've moved the chains twice. And on first down, Palmer has Bushman-Zada at the 30, and another first down, their third of the drive. That one gains 21.
Good job by Carson Palmer. Safety in the middle. Look at all the space that Carson Palmer sees. That's why he checks to the pass play. Easy completion to Bushman-Zada.
First down carry, Rudy Johnson for about 3. Bushman-Zada, kind of interesting, Phil. We saw it during the pregame warmups. Accidentally running into one of his teammates, and he was down in that far end zone for about well, a couple of minutes anyway. For a while, everybody in the stands thought they may have lost TJ for the game today.
I thought they'd lost him too, but what was Marvin Lewis's account of the story?
Well, he told Bonnie he's just looking for a little attention. He's fine. He'll play, and he has already caught a 21-yarder.
Marvin Lewis talks about these wide receivers. They're high maintenance on the Bengals.
Yeah, they are. And he'll say it with a chuckle. We got to stay on them 24/7. Johnson no gain. And here's Bushman-Zada trying to run it off after the collision.
Mad, upset. Marvin Lewis is going to come into the picture there and just pat him on the head. Say it's going to be okay. You'll be all right. Look at him. He's even got a smile on his face. Well, he looked good after this was over. He took off running and looked, was connecting quite well with Carson Palmer.
Third down, big 3rd and 7 from the 25. Robert Mathis is in, the sack specialist for the Colts. Palmer gets the pass down to Chad Johnson, and it slips through his hands, defended by Jason David.
There's a nice throw by Carson Palmer. It's right to Chad Johnson. But what this Colts defense is built on, when the ball's in the air, react and get to it. And that is a good job by Jason David. Bob Sanders also coming right over to make a play.
Crowd reacting to the replay inside the stadium. They thought it was a little early, the contact. But Shane Graham comes out for a 43-yard try. Kyle Larson on the hold. And Shane Graham boots it through. So each team takes the first possession down the field. A touchdown for the Colts, field goal for the Bengals. It's interesting hearing Marvin Lewis again in just his 3rd season. He went 8-8 his first year, 8-8 last year when he went from Kitna to Palmer, and now 7-2. He was saying that his very first game as a coach here was against Denver, and what he found out when he first came here is that teams had the ability to take their breath away, take our breath away. Mike Shannon came up to him after that first game and says, I don't think your team knows how good they really are.
Yeah.
He said, now we've gotten to the point where we know how to take our opponent's breath away.
Yeah, and I thought it was interesting, too. He tells his offensive coordinator, his defensive coordinator, and his special teams coach, hey, don't leave it in your pocket. In other words, have the courage, call the plays, and trust that your players can get it done.
Yeah, how do you get that edge on the opponent early? And he said, it's all with consistent execution. Let's get the rhythm going right away. And there are the first 2 drives. Indianapolis, 78 yards plus the 5-yard penalty. Offsides, driving down the field for a touchdown. So Shane Graham kicks it away. And it's Rhodes. And to the 34. Peyton on that first series, 5 for 5, 5 different targets.
Well, that's why it's so hard to stop this Colts offense. The first pass was behind the line of scrimmage, but Peyton Manning avoided the sack. And then just look, Stokely, Marvin Harrison deep down the sideline. Oh, you cover him deep? Let me throw one to Edgerrin James. Screen pass. When you watch him play quarterback, it's like it's a position that, well, I don't recognize it. It's not what I did when I played, that's for sure.
Fakes the quick pass on the short drop. Now has a man open down long. It's Reggie Wayne inside the 20. Wayne shakes free, touchdown. Colts, one play goes the distance, 66 yards. O'Haleti had a hand on him, and Wayne was able to break free.
I think what happened is Peyton Manning caught somebody looking inside. He made a little pump fake as he drops back, a little pump fake, and then he reset, and then when he went down the field, the defense had relaxed. And Torrey James caught looking inside, thinking maybe the pass was going to be short, and it allowed Reggie Wayne to get deep and wide open.
Longest play of the season for the Colts. Reggie Wayne's 4th touchdown of the year.
Jim, it goes right back to what we said when this game started. How do you handle big moments? Outside, top of your screen. Torrey James, oh, that's what happened. The pump fake, he was going to fall off his guy and try to intercept the ball to Dallas Clark. And you got to remember, the better the team you play in big moments, just do your job. Don't try to help somebody else out.
Well, Peyton obviously knew that they would bite on that. He had that short 3-step drop, pump fake,
Yes.
And then Wayne was open. And he told us last night, Manning, if we can get one-on-one with Reggie and Marvin, we'll win.
Yeah, here's what happens. Look up top. There's Torrey James. He's going to see this route, and he is going to come off and make the play. You do this against corners who like to look back at the quarterback. You saw the little hesitation. Hey, that's all you need when you're talking about a world-class sprinter outside, Reggie Wayne.
Torrey James seeing the first completion of over 30 yards allowed by this Bengals bunch since week 1.
That is a play, Jim, that you see in the film research that you do, and you know the techniques they're going to use, and you take advantage of it.
But already 14 on the board. And that's Tab Perry swarmed, but a flag is down. Jefferson, one of the Colts, in on that. Tom White is our referee.
Holding, number 83. During the return, a 10-yard penalty, first down.
Just a staggering sequence of events here for Cincinnati, yielding the 2 quick first quarter touchdowns. Now their second possession starts from the 11. Got to cross them up with a run, and it picks up good yardage. 6 yards for Rudy Johnson.
Well, Jim, in a situation like this is where Marvin Lewis and what he preached to his team the last 2 weeks. Look, it's the Colts. It's Peyton Manning in this offense. They are going to make plays. And when they do, don't get too concerned. Just go back to work and do what we've taught you to do for the last 2. So, boy, we're going to find out if they can hold true to that.
Riding Rudy again with all kinds of open room. Really was not touched for the first 10 yards. Gains 15.
Well, you're going against a team that likes to get upfield and attack the quarterback. And if they run it and you get in the way of it, reach a hand out and try to get the runner. Dwight Freeney wide upside. They want to run the football to the left.
And they're moving quickly. Chad Johnson in stride. And there he goes. Touchdown, Cincinnati. Ran past Bob Sanders, and they answer right back.
Well, Jim, we were here on Friday, and we watched this team practice. And when you see Chad Johnson in person, I promise you go, well, this got to be one of the top 2 or 3 fastest people in the NFL. And he's full of energy. He has a lot of antics, but the players, they love him, and so do the coaches.
68 yards. Palmer to Johnson, the longest play allowed by the Colts this year.
What a throw by Carson Palmer.
What a first quarter of action. High snap, but good job getting it down by Kyle Larson. Oh, we've got a message here. He's already gone down on one knee, and
he proposed.
He did propose.
Tell him it's TV. We only got a few seconds.
He knows, believe me. T.O., I got you, baby.
Oh, jeez. Well, we shouldn't have. Here it is on the outside. Jason David tries to hit him. He just misses him, and Bob Sanders cannot get over to help out against Chad Johnson.
It's interesting he would write that as you see him get right past, because everyone knows there's a big personality here in Chad Johnson, and he's an attention-starved receiver. But all you hear all week around here is how he is not T.O.
You know, he's not, Jim, because he does everything tongue-in-cheek. And the players and the coaches all take it that way. But you could see the talent in that long throw by Carson Palmer and, of course, Chad Johnson. The corner couldn't even hardly touch him, and then the safety not fast enough to get out there and help, because it really is like double coverage against him. But he is so talented.
The 68 yards moved his career total to 5,000 exactly in his career. In only his 5th year.
I'm sorry, Jim. I will say the Bengals, they did not flinch. They came right back out and answered it.
Rhodes drives this one and bouncing around, picked up by James Mungro. And he's tackled at the 32.
There he comes to the sideline. She said no. I guess
It sure wasn't a no.
Well, Jim, you saw him on Friday, and what did you think? Because in practice, it was off the charts. Antics, talking, laughing. It was the energy he brings is second to none.
No, it's just his nature. Just constantly the center of attention as Manning strikes right back near the 50 to Dallas Clark. As we were watching practice at one point, I've never seen this. All of a sudden I heard someone shout out, "Hey Sims, we're moving to the other end. Come down here and watch me."
Yeah. Hey Phil Sims, hey Phil Sims, watch me, watch me. And I'm like, wow, I was kind of embarrassed. I'm just trying to,
yeah.
But everybody else was laughing and just carrying on right with him. What kind of culture and environment do you set for your football team? Marvin Lewis lets him get away with it.
Manning's pass and almost a circus catch by Harrison. That's the first incompletion after Manning hit his first 7, including the long one to Wayne for the touchdown.
You know, as I watch this no-huddle offense, the Colts have been doing this for about 3 or 4 years. And you look at what they're doing so far, the quarterbacks, but Peyton Manning says he gauges a lot of things by watching the defense. If they get tired, I speed up.
Second down and 10. And this time the quick pass over to Reggie Wayne, his 3rd catch in this quarter. He goes for 9 yards.
And you know, Jim, listening to Peyton Manning last night, why he loves this no huddle. He goes, why would you want to huddle up and let the defense get a chance to reorganize after you've just hit a play on them? Keep them reeling, keep them guessing.
3rd down and 1. Edgerrin. If the Bengals can win this one today, they'll have a 1-game lead.
That's not what they said. They just announced that you were doing the game.
Yeah. And then they just announced you right there.
Yeah.
Incomplete for Dallas Clark.
Now, you know, Bonnie Bernstein said it. I've said it. Marvin Lewis really believes that this football team is built to play teams like the Indianapolis Colts. They're very athletic. They got quite a few defensive backs that can match up and cover your wide receivers, and that's what you got to have to play the Indianapolis Colts.
2nd down and 10. Screen up the middle for no gain. Justin Smith brought him down right away. We welcome those of you who just watched the Baltimore Ravens pull out the win against Pittsburgh. Jim Nance, Phil Simms, Bonnie Bernstein. An electric first quarter here in Cincinnati. Manning going 66 yards to Reggie Wayne, only to see Palmer answer back 68 yards to Chad Johnson. Manning on 3rd down has Dallas Clark. For Clark, his 3rd catch of the quarter.
Here's what's happening. The Colts are not substituting, and they're watching the Cincinnati Bengals from the sideline, not letting them run any defenders on there. So Peyton Manning is, watch this, he's going to give a signal, and it looks like it means go to the right. Dallas Clark, top of your screen, comes all the way over here, finds the open spot for the 1st down. Tremendous amount of hand signals the Colts have.
Colts had it twice, 2 touchdowns. 3rd possession, they're moving again, and this time Manning is dropped at the 30. Justin Smith and David Pollock will share that one as we come to the end of the quarter. So it'll be at the other end, 2nd down and 16 to start the second quarter. And we've got another audience joining us now. Welcome to Cincinnati. We're through one with the Colts driving and leading 14-10. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Peyton Manning in that first quarter threw for 154 yards. 6 yards under the passing category taken away for the sack. But the Colts are showing no signs here at all of being stopped. They've got a 2nd down, 2nd and 16. One defensive highlight was the final play of the first quarter, knocking down Manning for the 6-yard loss.
I found the Colts last night edgy, energized. Everything was pointing to them playing well today.
Manning with time to adjust with still 7 seconds on the play clock. Whoa, James ran right into him. Delta O'Neal was back to say hello as well, and it results in a 2-yard loss.
Well, Delta O'Neal won this battle with Peyton Manning. He was outside. Manning said, they're playing pass, we're going to run it, and then he timed it perfectly at the very last second. Can't get away from that play, can't check out, and it's another negative play against the Colts offense.
Colts have been good on their first 3 third downs, but this one 3rd and 18. Down the field, Wayne, and Torrey James is going to be flagged here.
That was a blitz. You blitz the Colts, they're going to look deep right away. It looked like Torrey James was looking back for the football. I saw the contact.
Pass interference. Number 20, defense. It's a first down.
Bottom of your screen, Torrey James against Reggie Wayne. Tough to see from that angle. Watch the left arm of Torrey James. He extends it. That's what the officials saw. That's why they threw the flag.
22-yard penalty, 1st and goal from the 9.
3rd and long, tough defense to blitz the Colts.
Wide open. He hits the backup tight end, Brian Fletcher, for the touchdown. The first touchdown of Fletcher's career.
This is a trend breaker. This is what you do when you're playing a blitzing team. That time, Fletcher, they're anticipating the blitz, watching. He's going to block. Oh, I missed you, I'm sorry. And then he lets him go, and it's too late for the defense to react.
I wonder if Fletcher suggested that play to Peyton.
As Peyton Manning says, oh, 81, Mr. Suggestion, always telling me what we should be doing.
Always saying I'm open. And that time he certainly was. Vanderjagt with the extra point. Manning's got another touchdown pass, his 2nd of the game. Peyton Manning, go back over and study a little bit, some pictures. Touchdown, 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 first 3 drives.
Hey, a lot's his talent, but the long touchdown throw and this last one he threw to Fletcher, they are
Hanging out from the 5 and hurdling past the first attempt. And that's a pretty strong run back. 30 yards in all. Peyton Manning throwing for almost 200 yards and 2 touchdowns early in the second quarter. And the Bengals on the defensive side trying to figure out what to do. Back out Carson Palmer and the Bengals. They answered quickly the last time. And the grab on the sideline, well done. Chad Johnson for 4 yards.
Let's go back and look at this touchdown. Here is Fletcher. Watch the blitz, and Dwayne Clemens has to be alert in case he's not blocked, but it's too late before he sees Fletcher go into the end zone. And Peyton Manning said inside the 5, they all out blitz. They were ready for it and got the touchdown.
2nd down and 6. Manning and Palmer now each with 19 touchdown passes on the season, best in the league. And Rudy Johnson runs into a pair of Colts. Chris Henry has come in for Coach Marvin Lewis. And he's a talented rookie. Lined up in a slot to the left. Actually, that's Hushmanzada. And Henry's not the target here. It's Chad Johnson. And he cuts all the way down to the 30. You see this kind of reaction right here? This is like after every reception in practice he's doing this kind of thing.
It is the truth. Going against Nick Harper to the inside. If you do not double team him, what are you going to do? How do you defend him? He's so fast, and he can come out of his cuts as clean, absolutely as clean as Marvin Harrison can, and that's why he's wide open.
2 yards shy of a 100-yard game already. Of course, the big one, 68 yards in the touchdown. First down from the Colts 30, and Rudy Johnson. Rudy rumbling down to the 16 and a run for 14 in all. Jeremy Johnson, the fullback, made that lane just appear wide open.
It did. Nice block by Johnson, the fullback. Dwight Freeney, who's the right defensive end on that side, he came way down inside, and that allowed the Bengals to get such a big hole to run through. They said they want to run left. Dwight Freeney is a pass rusher. He's not a run stopper.
And movement on the left side, they'll subtract 5 yards. Now I know this Cincinnati offense.
Start. Number 76, offense, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
I'm not saying they're not better on the field, but one of the reasons why their statistics are better, the Colts offense is staying on the field longer.
1st and 15, Palmer fakes right, set him up, got Johnson. And Rudy Johnson to the 13. Bob Sanders hit him first. Well, the Indianapolis offense has been able to strike so quickly, they haven't been able to keep the defense off the field. Their own defense, that is.
That's right.
You know?
I'll tell you something else when I watch this game. The Cincinnati Bengals, they have some tackles in Levi Jones and Willie Anderson who can go one-on-one with these pass rushers, not all the time, but sometimes, which helps them out in the run game, and it allows receivers to get down the field and not worry about chipping the defensive ends before they go out.
On 2nd down and 7, Rudy Johnson picks up only 2. It'll be 3rd and 5 on the way. Rudy Johnson came into this game with 778 yards rushing, 7th in the league overall. And the man who was impressive enough a couple of years ago, they were able to let go of trade, if you will, Corey Dillon. There he is, another Auburn product. Chris Perry, though, has come in on this next snap. He is a good 3rd down back, the 2nd-year player from Michigan, former 1st rounder.
Just think Marvin Lewis actually thought he might have to cut Rudy Johnson his first training camp.
Palmer to Hushmanzada, and that's a 1st and goal to go. Got the yardage by a yard, working on Nick Harper.
Here's the difference in a lot of teams. The Cincinnati Bengals, in situations like this, they can throw this tough pass. Look at that. The tight spiral and the speed in which it gets to the wide receiver, because they have a quarterback who can make all the throws.
They both have, talking about Manning and Palmer, 158.3 is a perfect rating. Rudy Johnson back in, and he almost gets there, about a yard shy. Harper, the one who prevented him from the end zone. 2nd and goal coming up from the 1.
You see those perfect ratings by the quarterbacks. I asked Marvin Lewis, so why do you switch to Carson Palmer from John Kitna, who had a pretty successful first year under Marvin Lewis? And he goes, Phil, all you have to do is go watch practice and you go, wow, what a throw. Who threw that? Oh, Carter. And that's why he's out there. He can make plays with his arm.
Going on the ground, though. Touchdown, Cincinnati. Rudy Johnson.
They're making it look too easy. The different plays, the different looks, the good blocking by this Bengals offensive line. Not only can they pass protect, but they can come off and be powerful too. And they are pushing the Colts all over the field.
They've had 6 drives overall in this game. 3 on each side. 6 drives, 6 scores. Unfortunately for the Bengals side, one of them was a field goal. Otherwise, will be 21 all. Graham tacks on another one. This is starting to look like last night's USC Fresno State game. The first one to 50 wins. Cato June and this Colts defense unable to stop the Bengals side.
Kevin Walter going down inside, getting Bob Sanders, and that allows Rudy Johnson to go in the end zone.
And that's Rhodes landing on his head. The ball comes out. They're ruling him down. Marcus Wilkins wanting the recovery. Of course, takeaways been a big thing around here in Bengal land this year. 29 of them in all.
Clearly a good call on the field. Dominique Rhodes hits the ground. He's forced to the ground by a defender. The ball comes out.
Oh, I'll tell you, the official did not even know the red flag was right by his ankles until someone came over and said, hey, look down.
Somebody sneaky. Marvin Lewis. I don't think you can challenge it anyway. It was ruled. Down by contact. Play is over. So even if he fumbled, the play ends there. So no matter who recovers it, it doesn't matter. Does he let go of the football before? No. I think the question is, Marvin Lewis thinks maybe his guy hit Dominique Rhodes.
There's no challenge on this play as the runner was ruled down by contact. And there's no timeout charge for Cincinnati.
Well, you're all over that one, Phil. So the Colts will snap it from the 26. Timeout on the field. Rhodes scored the game's opening touchdown, the first of 5. On the season, Colts second, Cincinnati third in the league. Fewest points allowed. The Bears top spot, and they shut down another opponent today, the Panthers. But as you said, Phil, this could have been, if you want to go by that, a 14-12 game? I don't think so. We're blowing that number out. And just 6 minutes into the second quarter. Little dump pass, James. And nifty moves a couple of times, shifting around enough for the first.
I tell you, it's just so clever what the Colts do. Because the play clock now says 33 seconds. Peyton Manning's calling the play that he's already gotten from Tom Moore. Now he's going to go up and decide if he likes it or not. Let me see the defense. And so far, except for one blitz, he has been right every time. And it's all done by hand signals, so crowd noise is not a factor.
Another one of those quick fakes. Down the field, Dallas Clark. And he breaks away. 2 Bengals bounce off of one another. And Clark is finally dropped at the 6. Oh, Haleti is one of the Bengals who had a shot at him.
It's another play action fake by Peyton Manning, and boy, does he just stick it in there. Olahati cannot get over there quick enough. Dallas Clark, the tight end, shows his strength. Went to college as a linebacker, but he has turned into a very good NFL tight end.
That goes for 56. Edrin He's got a 2nd and goal from the 3. How about Dallas Clark? How about his performance so far? 4 catches for 85 yards. The pride of Livermore, Iowa. A little town with no stoplights. But he says, I'm a city boy. I'm not a farmer.
Yeah, he lived in the city. But just a natural athlete who can see and catch the football.
Fake pass, and flags are down. It was intended for Clark. Case Vaharn was in there probably too early.
Yeah, he was. You know, just to go back to Dallas Clark, players get drafted. He was a 1st-round pick.
Pass interference. Number 34, playing through the receiver's back in the end zone. Oh, he placed him on the 1-yard line by rule. 1st down.
Number 34, Kevin Case Vaharn, comes in too quick. Dallas Clark, when he came to the pros as a 1st-round pick, instead of buying a car, he took the money and paid off his college loans.
That's right. He was a walk-on at Iowa. So 1st and goal. It's Edgerrin's turn, and he moves the pile right into the end zone for a touchdown. Now 4 drives for the Colts and 4 touchdowns.
Well, what do? You have to be so disheartened as a defensive player. Wow, what a good lead block. Odell Thurman comes flying up in there, and then he comes flying out. You can say what you want about the Indianapolis Colts. On offense, they're explosive, they're diverse, and when they need to be, they can be powerful.
And they're all of those things today. Vanderjagt makes it 28-17. We've had 6 touchdowns in the game overall by 6 different players, this time Edgerrin James. Edgerrin James, his 10th rushing touchdown of the season, 11 overall. And now we'll see if Carson Palmer, and you see Torrey James sitting on the end of the bench, got scorched earlier for that long hook up to Reggie Wayne plus a pass interference call, and another one to set up a touchdown. It's Tab Perry. There's some freedom down the right side, and that's it, 32-yard line. Edgerrin James already has his 1,000-yard season. The latest to find the end zone for Indy. Marvin Harrison. He's caught 1 ball so far. The next one will give him that milestone number 900.
It's never enough with Marvin Harrison, right, Jim?
And that's what we asked him last night. Are you seeing it enough? Never.
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 Throw it to me. Keep throwing it to me. I'm never tired. Throw it to me.
Just give me the ball.
I got it.
And the end around, Houshmandzadeh. And he falls at the 36. Looked certainly more promising than just a 5-yard pickup. 2nd down and 5. Palmer, a little audible, with still plenty of time on the play clock. Snapped it at 9. Pressure. And gets it over to Jeremy Johnson. Gain of 2. Monte Rager almost got in there for a sack.
Yeah, he did. The defense, though, that time for the Colts, it was playing pass all the way. Very surprised, because I know Carson Palmer has a chance to change the play, that he didn't just run the football right up the middle.
Perry has come in. And he's a good receiver out of the backfield. Oh, that play knocked away. That saves the 1st down. Marlin Jackson, the rookie 1st rounder from Michigan, denying Houshmandzadeh.
Looked like a good job that time by Jackson, playing the slot receiver, which is the toughest to play. Oh, perfect timing. Doesn't even touch him except with the left arm. Just rakes the receiver's arms. Tough to catch it with somebody doing that to you.
We have our first punt of the day. Kyle Larson to boot it away to Troy Walters. Looks like they've been inactive based on that one off the side of the foot. There's a flag at midfield as a little scuffle was taking place.
I think that's O'Halloty, if I'm not.
And I think Sapp of Indianapolis. Only a 17-yard punt.
Well, Sapp is running to the sideline, Jerome Sapp for the Colts, and he points away saying, "It wasn't me." Well, shoot, when did they ever say it's me? Yes, it's my fault, Coach.
Well, it looked like O'Halloty
After the ball
might have
was
been
out of bounds and the play was over. Personal foul, grabbing the face mask, number 26, Cincinnati. That 15-yard penalty we enforced in the dead ball spot. First down, timeout.
just what Peyton Manning needs, another 15 yards closer. He'll start at the 40 of the Bengals. Well, the quarterbacks in this one, Manning and Palmer. Manning still with the perfect rating. Palmer just a notch below. First down from the 40, and back to Dallas Clark they go to the 21. And now they're ruling it incomplete. Incomplete, they rule it. You look at the opposing passer rating, talking about for the Bengals. For the whole season, the opposing quarterback's 55.4. That is the best performance, if you will, since that Tampa Super Bowl team of 3 years ago. And the 20 picks factoring in heavily in that. Again, that last pass incomplete.
Peyton Manning doing the play action fake, and they only do it when they know the defenders are looking at the quarterback and into the backfield.
We got a challenge. Colts are going to challenge the reception. And we'll be right back. We're back in Cincinnati. The ruling on the field here was incomplete. The pass to Dallas Clark.
He has it. He bobbles it. Good shot here. As he comes up, you can see his hand was under the football. Now you are allowed, it looks like it slips out, but he kept his hand underneath it as far as we can see when you look at all the replays. And you can assume it doesn't have to be like you got to see the ball clear. You can just assume, since we saw his hand on the ground. Oh, now.
It looked from that
was a different angle.
That looked like it never did touch the ground. And the hand, as you say, it was always underneath it.
Oh, now see, I thought that one confused me. So you got to remember, and you said it right, it was ruled incomplete, and it's got to, Tom White has got to see something that makes him change his mind.
Maybe you do see that one a little bit rolling on the ground.
It did. It rolled on the ground. So here I am going through all this, and we see a different replay.
Well, you're talking about Dallas Clark and how he signed his first-round bonus money. First thing he did, he didn't go out and buy one of those Escalades. He paid off his college loan because he went to Iowa, made the football team only because he put his own highlight reel together.
The ruling on the field stands. Indianapolis is charged with a timeout.
So incomplete after all of that. But anyway, made the Iowa team as a walk-on. Spent a year convincing the coach that he had to move from linebacker to tight end. And he got to the position, he said, that just felt natural. And he certainly is that at tight end.
You know, that's a tremendous story about a kid that went to college and fought his way to what he is now today. And this Colts football team, they're loaded with those stories. Gary Brackett, the middle linebacker. We met Robert Mathis last night, Jim. Same thing. One little school, Alabama A&M, their only offer. All of them now in the pros and doing well.
Second down and 10. And that one stuffed by Robert Gathers. 3rd and 12 coming up.
Now, I talked about this no-huddle offense, and if you're watching, you don't see anybody coming from the sideline to help the defense out because they can't. Peyton Manning will snap the football and catch you with extra defenders on the field if you do.
Fake to James. Airing it down to Reggie Wayne. Boy, Wayne, it looks like they've got that anytime they want it. Down to the 18 and another first, a gain of 23.
Well, they got it, Jim, because of the blitz. Watch, 2 blitzers. Look at the pickup. Edgerrin James, good job. Peyton Manning knows when you blitz, it's single coverage outside, and he threw a laser out there to Reggie Wayne.
Wayne with 111 yards and a touchdown on 4 grabs. And that one, an awkward hit from the side on Marvin Harrison. There it is, number 900 with the catch. Not a memorable catch, but it is number 900 in a memorable career.
Well, Marvin Harrison doesn't ever come to the huddle. Somebody signal to me what the play is. I don't watch films during the week. All he does, as Peyton Manning would say, practices every single day and plays every snap of every game.
900th career catch, loses 3 yards. And 2nd and 13. Right back to that side and trying to scoop it off the turf was Fletcher, who caught a touchdown earlier in this quarter. You talk about the all-time list. There's Rice, there's Chris Carter, there's Tim Brown. Then you got Andre Reed and Art Monk, the only 5 in front of Marvin.
How about this? He dropped a pass this Thursday in practice, and he told Peyton, that's the first time we've missed one in 6 weeks. That's how efficient and how good they are.
On the one-on-one drill, and Peyton said it's still bothering him. Talking about Marvin. 3rd down, across the middle, Clark, and he's in for a touchdown. Dallas Clark feasting down the middle of the field all game long. 21 yards and a touchdown.
That was a tremendous read by Peyton Manning. The Cincinnati Bengals gave him a different look, an old Buddy Ryan coverage, and he reads it right away. Watch how the defenders run out. And it's too late. Ratliff trying so hard to disguise the coverage that it hurts covering the receiver.
They got Clark over 100, Wayne over 100. Good job on the hold there by Hunter Smith. They convert a 3rd and 11, a 3rd and 13 for the touchdown. 5 possessions, 5 touchdowns. We've got 52 points in this one. And that is the highest scoring first half in the league this year.
I would hope so.
Was going to be more. And it's early. By their standards. Rayner, the kickoff man. Tad Perry's had a couple of nice returns. This one through traffic. Took 6 to bring him down at the 26.
Well, let's go back and look at the touchdown. You try to confuse Peyton Manning. The corner's going to go back. This defender is going to come out here, and then Ratliff from the inside is going to try to cover Dallas Clark. It is confusing, but the Colts recognize it right away, and they take advantage of it. Really, just a defense that Buddy Ryan made popular in the NFL, and the Colts were ready for it, and look what they have done in their first 5 possessions. And remember, this Bengals defense, they picked off Brett Favre 5 times and Dante Culpepper 5 times right here in this stadium.
They beat up on the NFC North. They also got Orton of the Bears for 5. They got 15 out of that division in interconference play. And that's the run with Chris Perry for 4 yards. Let's go down to Bonnie.
Well, Jim, it's interesting watching Chad Johnson on the sideline. You see why Marvin Lewis calls his receivers an emotional bunch. Johnson always lobbying for the ball. TJ Houshmandzadeh, Chris Henry, they're all emotional guys, high maintenance guys. And Lewis says on one hand that's good because they're competitive at practice, but on the other hand, they need 24/7 attention.
And Chris Perry getting some attention. And he's out to the 50. What a block right up the middle by the center, Rich Bram.
Yeah, it really was. Up inside, they're having some success running inside. Rich Bram, you're right, Jim. What a block in there. Just seals it off. And what this does, it slows the game down a little. Keeps that Colt offense off the field.
Go ride him again for more yardage, and he's free. Chris Perry, that little stumble may have prevented a touchdown. Picks up 30.
Go with what works. That's what they're doing. Again, up inside. Nice lead block by the fullback. And Chris Perry showing some speed and some moves to get the extra yards. Boy, nice job. Look at the space the running backs, Rudy Johnson and Perry, are finding when they have the ball in their hands.
And they keep going with the hot pack. Actually, that's Rudy Johnson. And her flags all over the place. That last run for 30, and that's coming back against Cincinnati. Bobby Williams, who had been banged up, he had thrown a big block in his return to the game on that 30-yard run. We're reaching the 2-minute warning with a flag.
Holding, number 71, 10-yard penalty, remains first down. Timeout, 2 minutes.
They got Willie Anderson on that right side, but again, the Bengals are driving back. 2-minute warning. Chris Perry back in the lineup after that holding call against Anderson. And that pass just a little behind Chris Perry, who has caught 40 balls on the season. I used to have a back out of the backfield here, James Brooks, who knew how to do that, and he's on pace here to break his receiving record for a season for a back. And this drive, minute 47 has elapsed, and they had the big runs by Perry, including the 16-yarder and a 30-yarder.
You know, Jim, just what you said, running backs catching the football. They have 50 completions at the line of scrimmage or behind this year, the Cincinnati Bengals do. They throw it down the field and they throw it short.
Nothing.
Down the field, almost picked. That was Mike Doss making a play on it.
It was, and Chad Johnson is not looking for the football. There is a space in the defense. Carson Palmer sees it, but Chad Johnson did not read it, and so he went up the field. Carson Palmer threw it inside.
Well, let's see what they do now from the 30, third down, and a timeout first. Cincinnati. We'll discuss this one. Minute 45 left in the half. We welcome you back here to the Queen City of Cincinnati. And third down for their Bengals. You go underneath. Bushmanzada nowhere near the first. Only got it to the 23. That's a full 13-yard shy of what they needed.
Yeah, but it gets you in field goal range, and that's what you have to look at in a situation like this. And again, I'm going to go back. The pass protection for Carson Palmer, it has been spectacular.
Timeout called by the Colts this time. We'll be right back. Well, the Bengals are looking for 3 points from Shane Graham. He's got a good leg. And this one just outside of 40, 76% on his career. Career that bounced around a little bit early and included a stop at Carolina, but he's been the man here for several years. 15 of 19 on the season. This will be 41 yards. Graham good for the second time in this game. But you can't try to answer Indianapolis today with field goals. They get the 3, but they're down 15. This 35 points, just when we thought this was special, has been matched out in San Diego. Drew Brees has thrown 4 touchdowns in the first half. If that word got down to Peyton, knowing how competitive he is, he would try to do something to top it here with 1:29 to go in the half. 35 points.
Well,
in the half ties the worst first half in team history.
Yeah, you know, Jim, I'm sure he probably knows it. He knows everything.
Yeah, he does.
He follows he knows records, who's done what. He knows about the history of the league. And greatness doesn't come without a lot of hard work, and he's put all the time in. And the greatness, we see it almost every week on the field.
Rhodes had a wild adventure the last time he ran one back. Toppled over that previous time, but a straightforward drop by Tab Perry, the returner for the Bengals, making a play on special teams the other way. Well, the Colts in their offense today, Peyton hitting 80%, including 3 touchdowns. Edrin trying to keep him honest. He's also caught a couple little passes that have picked up first downs, plus rushed one in. Reggie Wayne with a 66-yarder. And that 4-catch set for 111 overall. And Stokely in a slot to the right. I think Marvin Harrison about now wants to get a little attention too. That's a little low for Brandon Stokely.
Peyton Manning's pass intended for Brandon Stokely is incomplete.
It's the 4th time on the season that a team has reached 35. That includes that Charger performance, which is still with just seconds to go out in California. Green Bay and Washington, the other 2 to put up numbers like that this season. Colts have a chance, though, to better it. 2nd down and 10, and down they go again. Down the field to Reggie Wayne. And that time, a good play made by Torrey James.
Oh, he's getting a mock cheer from the crowd. And if Peyton Manning would have let this go just a little earlier and threw it really high, Reggie Wayne had terrific positioning on Torrey James.
Torrey James, who made the Pro Bowl team a year ago, and like Peyton, hails from New Orleans. And they met last year, had some time together, that is, at the Pro Bowl. And Torrey was shocked how much Peyton knew about his whole history, like what you said about how Peyton knows everything.
He goes, he knew about every player from Louisiana.
He knew my whole career, my whole high school history, college, everything. Now on 3rd down, pass picked. The Bengals get another pick like they have all season. It's Ratliff. And the Bengals run it down inside the 15.
Well, what this does, it really gets them back in the game. And what the Bengals always say, and they told us, it's not about sacking the quarterback, it's getting pressure on him and hitting him. And Peyton Manning has people in his face, and he steps on his own player that time. And then they get the interception.
It would come all the way back eventually to Peyton, who would drop him at the 14-yard line. Kewan Ratliff.
Peyton Manning stepped on the ankle, it looked like, of Jake Scott, which made the football go a little shorter than he anticipated.
Palmer swings it over to Perry, and coming up to make the quick play, Bob Sanders.
The idea is really good. Pass rushers come up the field, throw screens behind them. The problem is the rest of the defense is looking at you, and before the receiver can catch it, they've reacted and come up and made the tackle.
Clock is running, and now Lewis looking around, and there's some wondering why they aren't stopping the clock, but still time, plenty of time. 29 seconds, 2nd down and 8. Down to the 1 they go. And that's Chris Henry, the rookie from West Virginia, and a timeout. The Bengals still have 1 remaining, and they're knocking at the door.
Here's Chris Henry on the outside. It's a double slant. Carson Palmer recognizes that the first receiver is covered, finds the second one and throws it exactly where you want it in this area of the field. Down low where you cannot get in trouble.
So 1st and goal with a timeout to work with, and Chris Perry in the backfield. And a throw for it, lobbing it up, back to Henry. Almost made a wonderful grab. Reached up, Tried to pull it down with one hand, but Nick Harper was right in his face.
Yeah, very fortunate, really, not to get this football intercepted. Nick Harper is in front. The defense was set up to defend that type of pass. And Chris Henry, because his height and a little push-off, stops the interception.
Colts have called timeout. Colts timeout. We'll be right back on America's most watched network.
You know, passing teams, not only do they catch the ball, make plays, but they also stop interceptions because they're just used to reacting to the football. Well, nice catch by Chris Henry on the outside. And a lot of teams who don't throw it as much as the Cincinnati Bengals, that pass could have been intercepted because the receiver just doesn't react as well to it.
Got Jeremy Johnson lined up as the fullback, and watch him. He can catch it. He's had a number of these in his career. Rudy Johnson, the running back, and he's tripped up. And on a second effort, is it? Touchdown. Boy, it looked like at first glance the Colts. And Rager was right in on him.
Looks like he's going to go in. Oh, Monte Rager. And what happens is that he fell on top of some Colt defenders. I think it was Gary Brackett, and you must hit the ground.
I was thinking he was down at that point, but you're right, Phil. Never touched the ground.
That was a good shot.
Keeps on motoring, doesn't he?
Seen quite a few of those plays in college. Saw one yesterday. Boy, Monte Rager, what a job of balancing by Rudy Johnson. Wow. And I know you look at that, Jim, and you say, well, did he blow the whistle? He might have blown the, I don't know, I can't say, but I don't think it blows the play dead. He just assumed that the runner was down.
Well, this one,
let's
a
watch
lot of bodies around here. Watch Monte Rager.
What a shot.
Really takes a shot at him.
There's no question he's not down. Jim, you brought up a good point, though, that I didn't look. If Tom White.
We're reviewing the previous play to see whether the runner crossed the goal line before he was down.
Well, he just came out to tell us what they're reviewing. Back to the hood.
Thanks.
What else would we be reviewing?
Well, it's a good shot. We've had a lot of good shots of it that tells you he did score. But if there was a whistle on the field, let me just straighten this out. If there was a whistle, which they wouldn't be reviewing it. So the play was not blown dead. Well, I just can't get over the fact what a good job of balancing that Rudy Johnson did. Coming from the University of Auburn, and it's.
You think how big that interception was by Kewan Ratliff and Peyton Manning. You could just, in talks with Carson Palmer, I mean, why wouldn't any quarterback look up to Peyton Manning? But Palmer has so many things in common with Peyton. They both were first overall selections in the NFL draft. Peyton back in '98, Palmer in 2003, and Palmer won it in our meetings. It was just soaking up all the stories and everything.
After reviewing the play, the runner goes into the line of scrimmage, gets hit, lands on players, and then lunges into the end zone. It's a touchdown.
Well, just as you said, Phil, Rudy Johnson is in for the second time in this game.
Boy, did that change the complexion of the game, how the Bengals feel about themselves to give up 35 points, go into halftime and go, wow, we're right back in it.
I'm still not believing the score in the first half. Of course, they go for one, down a touchdown and a two, and they put up 10 points in the last minute 29 seconds. Tied for the most first half points in a game since back in 1985. How about that? But Let me get back to Palmer and Peyton and Carson and his respect for Mr. Manning.
Well, you're going to tell them the story about how in a Monday night game, Carson Palmer got in his pickup truck with Chad Johnson, and they drove from here up to watch the Colts, strictly to watch Marvin Harrison and Peyton Manning, what they did before games, but as Carson Palmer said, really to watch him off camera. What was he doing on the sidelines so he could learn some traits from Peyton Manning?
Carson had a passenger go with him over there by the name of Chad Johnson, who not only went over there, he went over there with his uniform on. Wore his jersey. No, I don't want any attention, but
yeah, that's right.
He went over for the Monday night game last year, Indianapolis hosting Minnesota, and they sat in Edgerrin James seats. And Palmer fascinated by how Manning was looking at pictures and really taking the time when the defense was out on the field and made the most of that time. He says, I have totally applied that to what I'm doing.
Well, Carson Palmer said in college, when I came off the field, I'd get some Gatorade and sit on the sideline and watch the defense. No more, not in this league.
Final 12 seconds of a half packed with action. And that's UTEC. In 8 seconds, I'm telling you, out at the 42, you might want to try one little pass play and give Vanderjagt a shot. 2:05 today. This was Carson and Chad Johnson. And minutes behind. Peyton was out here warming up. Marvin Harrison. Peyton and Chad had a little talk. Well, they're not going to do anything to move it down the field and kneel down. Now we're told that this is the highest scoring first half game in Cincinnati history. A mere 62 points. That's it. Let's go down to Bonnie.
Being the track meet that this game is, Marv, how important was the decision to get the touchdown for your team coming into the half?
Well, it's big. We get the ball coming out the second half. We got to do a better job on third down on defense, and it'll be a different ball game.
Coach, thanks.
Sprint halftime report is coming up after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS, America's #1 network. It's Reggie Wayne inside the 20. Wayne shakes free, touchdown. Chad Johnson in stride, and there he goes. Touchdown, Cincinnati. And we can hardly wait to see what the second half will bring. Jim Nantz, Phil Simms, and Bonnie Bernstein here in Cincinnati. What was that Marvin Lewis told us about? We now can take people's breath away. I think everybody's a little breathless here in Cincinnati after the track meet, as Bonnie called in the first half.
Yeah, first time I got tired of talking doing this job. But, you know, you look at this game. Who's going to get control of it? Which defense can get to the opposing passer? They both have had all day to throw it. And when you're as good as they are, these quarterbacks, you get time, you're going to hit the open receivers.
Still, they've been racking up, as you would imagine, some rather impressive numbers. 300 total yards for the Colts, and Cincinnati just barely behind them. And again, this game brought to you in high definition. Bengals do get the football first in the second half. Return, and he gets a big one all the way down to the Colts end of the field before Jason David and David Thornton both knocked him out. 40-yard run back. Fantasy notebook from that first half. 3 touchdown passes by Peyton, 1 by Carson. Rudy Johnson on a 100-yard pace, plus a couple of scores. Marvin Harrison got career catch number 900, but Reggie Wayne doing the most damage. And Johnson went deep for 1. Longest play allowed by the Colts this year, a 68-yard score. Palmer on a slant. Has his man for a gain of about 10. Let's go down to Bonnie.
Despite the Colts lead, Tony Dungy disappointed on two aspects of his team. Number one, on offense, he said we can't afford turnovers. Peyton Manning's interception at the end of the second half gave Cincy the momentum. On the other side, he said run defense is a premium for us since he had 116 yards rushing in the first half. Can't have that second time around, Jim.
All right, Bonnie, that pass was to Chad Johnson. It picks up a first.
Carson Palmer just stuffed it in there to Chad Johnson, too. It helps to have a strong arm.
And he has that. As he shows you here again across the middle for another one. Right back to Chad Johnson. First two plays of the second half. This one goes for 20.
What you see, this throw is why I think the Bengals, their passing game is just so efficient. When the spots are open down the field, they go for it, and they hit them a lot of the times. When it's not, you talked about it in the first half, Jim, 50 passes at or behind the line of scrimmage, so they make you defend deep down the field and around the line of scrimmage, too.
Boy, they're picking it right up where this first half ended, as Palmer this time wide of Hushmanzada. And again, these two defenses came in second and third in the league, fewest points allowed. But those numbers are going to certainly be averaging up after this one's through. Of course, this Colts defense had given up only 2 touchdowns through the first 5 games, but you look at their body work the last 4, they haven't given up scores. Second down, it's Rudy Johnson. Only to work it for about 1, running into Gary Brackett.
A lot of reasons for that, Jim, but I think the biggest of all, when I watched the Colts play, they were getting a number of big plays from their defensive line. Dwight Freeney, Robert Mathis, Raheem Brock. Everybody was getting to the quarterback, causing turnovers, stopping scoring drives, and then their offense, of course, early in the year was running the football a high number of times compared to what they've done the last few.
Plus, they've been getting sacks all season long, but none so far today. Third down. Palmer's pass caught. Hits Henry for the touchdown.
How about that? The last 10 points of the first half. Marvin Lewis was right. We get it to start the second half, and they take advantage of it. Another terrific throw by Carson Palmer, and Henry on the outside. A little space, throw it high. That's why it helps to have big receivers too. Big and not afraid to go over the middle.
Marvin Lewis, when we asked him about Chris Henry, said he wants to be big time, and he makes a big time grab. Now, I know how you feel about this. They're going to bypass the chance to tie it and go for the single point after, and it's a 1-point Indianapolis lead.
That's right. Don't go for 2 until it's late and you have to.
Chris Henry into the end zone for the 4th time in his rookie season. And you go back to the end of the first half, that's now 17 unanswered in about a 3.5-minute stretch. And again, they don't go for the chance to tie it. No room on the run back, 23-yard line.
Carson Palmer is a big, strong quarterback. He throws pretty spirals. And when you throw pretty spirals over the middle, I'll tell you why it's important. Because it's much easier for the receivers to catch it cleanly, catch it, pull the ball in, and protect themselves. But Jim, to go back to your point about the 2-point conversion, if they'd have went for 2, didn't make it, they're down 2 points. If the Colts score, kick the extra point, now you're down 9. You're down 2 scores instead of 1 score.
We're only 2 minutes into the third quarter, after all.
That's right. Don't panic and make a rash decision when you don't have to.
Manning to the sideline. Was the second foot down? They say no for Marvin Harrison.
Second time all day that Peyton Manning has been under pressure. Can the Bengals find a way to get him off rhythm? And what a good try by Marvin Harrison, but a good call by the officials. The Bengals do not get a lot of sacks, but they do get around the quarterback and it's helped cause the interceptions.
Edgerrin James dives underneath the pressure. How about that run for a first down? Looked like it was going to be stopped for a 1-yard gain. Instead goes for 12.
That's why this offense is so good. It's not always about doing exactly the way it's drawn up, and especially for running backs. What separates running backs in the NFL? Can you make something happen when we don't block it? And it's not always perfect. Can you make a miss? Can you break a tackle? This guy can do both.
Edgerrin James' longest run today. 41 on the afternoon and a touchdown. First down, Colts. Dallas Clark having a career day, and he moves it into Cincinnati territory.
I'll tell you what, as I watch him run across this field, he's sure glad he listened to Kirk Ferentz at Iowa and moved to tight end, because he can outrun the defense. A blitz by the Bengals by the defense. The Colts pick it up. Dallas Clark wide open over the middle.
6 for 125 and a touch. Both the reception and yardage marks are career highs. First down. Stretch play, Edgerrin James. Just what you're looking for on first down. 7 yards. Another big year in sterling career for Edgerrin James. 7 seasons with the Colts. All-time rusher.
I never thought the Colts could keep Marvin Harrison, Edgerrin James, and Peyton Manning together. They found a way to do it with the salary cap, and once again, all three paying off for them.
Second down and 3. Only thing that stopped the Colts in that first half was Peyton stepping on the foot of one of his linemen and off balance being picked off. The other 5 possessions went for touchdowns.
Should have been a run, and it was.
And that run for only a 2-yard gain. It'll be 3rd and 1.
Well, tremendous running backs, even though it goes nowhere this time. Look at the cuts, the hopping, the jumping. Man, Jim, if you'd have done that, it'd have been 2 blown hamstrings and a broken foot.
What about an ACL or 2?
Man. Crowd trying to get back into it.
On 3rd and 1. James for a 3rd straight carry, and he is denied. Odell Thurman ran right down the line of scrimmage with him.
Odell Thurman, the leading tackler for this Bengals defense, number 51. 2nd-round draft pick. What a job.
Hey, they're going for it, Hill, on 4th down and a long yard.
Yeah, Peyton Manning, as soon as he got tackled, said, let's go.
And again, he does not give the defense time to adjust or substitute. Chance to catch them off guard.
They're crowding the line of scrimmage. They're daring him. They want him to throw the football to pick it up.
It's Edgerrin James, and he gets it. This is all that part of the magic of the no huddle. You just never give the defense time to kind of set up the situation, talk about the importance of a situation.
Well, you know, Jim, as I watch what they're doing on the field today, I hope the fans at home appreciate what they see. Are we just so used to seeing it that we take it for granted? Well, you shouldn't. This is extraordinary offense that the Colts do a lot of times on Sundays, and today, what they're doing, it's extraordinary.
Peyton was talking about that Dallas-San Diego game week 1 when the Chargers got inside the 10 and then huddled, gave the Cowboys chance to really adjust and get ready as they go now to James for a 5th straight down.
Yeah, it was interesting to hear that. When you get a team going, you're right, the very first game of the year, the Chargers inside the 10, they make a big play, they get down there, they huddle up, the Cowboys get organized and they end up stopping them. Well, every coach doesn't have Peyton Manning in offense, and they don't put basically their football team in the quarterback's hands, which they do in Indianapolis.
2nd down and 6. It's all Edgerrin James right now. And look at him bounce right off. It's 3rd and inches.
Well, so far, all of them have lost that have played.
Still like you to vote.
Yeah, okay.
NFL.com. Edgerrin James, and that line cleared it out, just wide open for him, busted it wide open.
You know what? When you get this defense or this offense in a 3rd down situation, you think, wow, they might be stopped, but they always come up with the plays. Again, up front, just good blocking. That time, Jeff Saturday, Ryan Lilja, and Jake Scott all get their men.
Now James steps aside, and Rhodes comes in after 7 straight carries by Edgerrin James. Actually, it's James Mungro behind Peyton. So 7 straight rushes by Edge, and he's out. On 1st down, Manning to Harrison, and just a little too far. Delta O'Neal on the coverage. It's a 6.5-minute drive, something we're unaccustomed to today. They've been scoring frequently and fast.
Well, the Bengals have changed a little, not taking chances. Wanting to see them drive it down the field, make a lot of plays. So far, they've done it.
2nd down, 10.
Think of the energy that Peyton Manning, what he uses to play and to verbalize every single down to his offense in this noise.
Barely got it snapped in time. Pump fake. Toss. Mungro. Bounced out at the 10. 3rd and 2 on the way. Odell Thurman, the rookie, bounced him out. Here's Thurman, nicknamed Gladiator. Says his strength is my awareness, he told us.
Well, that time nobody opened down the field, so Peyton Manning has to throw it short.
A halt in the action here.
Look at the Bengal defenders. Everybody drinking water.
Got to be exhausted.
Trying to catch their breath.
Tarek Glynn's walking off the field, Phil. That's why they stopped the clock for a moment.
And Tim, and Jim, look at these defenders. How long he keeps them in their stance. That tires these defensive linemen out too, because you do not know when he's going to snap the football.
Dylan Gandy has come into the line as Glynn is out. Scott goes to left tackle from right guard. 3rd down, pass play, caught and almost able to get it in. Marvin Harrison twisted down outside of the goal line by Delta O'Neal.
I've always said this, Peyton Manning, excellent short thrower over the line of scrimmage because of his style of throwing the football, and he is 6'6", and he can throw the football down where chances of interception are very low.
Edgerrin James is back in. He's done most of the heavy lifting on this long drive. Peyton over 300 yards passing on the day now. It's Edgerrin diving underneath and just getting back to the line of scrimmage. Second down and goal. Like to welcome those of you who've just been shifted over from the Jets-Denver game with the Broncos up 20-0. Second and goal here for the Colts, who have scored on every possession but one today. But look at Cincinnati, nearly matching them. Second and goal, and it's Edgerrin James, and he is in. Touchdown. 15th play of the drive. And another Colts score.
What a drive by the Colts. The Bengals have just scored 17 straight points, and they just take it down the field. And in most of it, a lot of it was just tough running by the running backs. And of course, good blocking up front. Defensive line of the Bengals cannot stop the running game.
Peyton Manning says, hey, you want us to beat you another way? We'll give you a heavy dose of Edgerrin James, and Chad Johnson wants a chance to come back. Well, Edgerrin James took care of that drive, helped it burn off 8 minutes and 23 seconds off the clock. They had no single play longer than 16 yards.
Good example right there, Jim. One of the reasons why the Colts defense, we've said a few reasons, but that drive, hey, that'll help some defensive stats. Keep you off the field.
A big one at that. As Perry is stopped at the 28. Edgerrin James, 2 more touchdowns today. He's got 11 rushing, 12 overall on the season. Palmer and the Bengals from the 28. And here comes the long ball. And should have been picked off. Nick Harper trying to find Chad Johnson down the field.
Good thought by Carson Palmer, but excellent coverage. And they have incidental contact down there. And Carson Palmer having such a good day. Dwight Freeney to the outside. That time he's double teamed, but Levi Jones and Willie Anderson, the other tackle, doing a terrific job. Bob Trumpy, the ex-tight end for the Cincinnati Bengals, saw him in the airport last week. He goes, they won't get close to Carson Palmer. He's right.
Right about then. Yeah.
Again, if your defense is built around the pass rush, no sacks, and they're aligned over 6 yards per rushing attempt. That's why they've given up so many points.
3rd down and 9. Had only 1 punt in this game. At by the Bengals. Chad Johnson is open, and he has the grab.
That pass protection was phenomenal that time. Finally, the Colts blitz. They can't take it anymore. They come up and they blitz, and Carson Palmer has forever, and that is a terrific move. Double teamed, Chad Johnson was, and he faked out both defenders.
Chad Johnson with a career high 163 yards.
Look where Carson Palmer down the middle, down to the outside, attacking both sidelines. They throw it everywhere.
And look at the old statue type play as Chris Perry gains 5. Mike Goss upends him. You know, that's the 2nd time today that Palmer has thrown a ball down the field in excess of 30 yards in the air.
Yeah.
To Chad Johnson.
They're the best in the NFL. That just look at it again. Down the middle, deep, terrific. Left, very good. And it just shows you everywhere they throw the football. And if you're a good passing team and a terrific offense, that's what you have to do.
2nd down 5 with 2:20 to go in the 3rd quarter. It's Perry with Rager riding him down, about a yard shy of the 1st.
Bob Burkowski, the offensive coordinator for the Bengals, has done a good job of mixing it up, running it, throwing it deep, throwing short, and they're just taking advantage of this Indianapolis Colts defensive line that just runs up the field, and they just let them go. So you don't have to block the outside guys. You can send all your guys inside and try to get your runners some room.
Rudy Johnson returns. Certainly capable of getting a tough yard, which they need right now. They're trying to get it up top. And in traffic, almost picked. Chad Johnson was the target. A lot of Colts in the area for that one.
Well, this is one time, if I was receiver, I'd say, okay, I might have to flinch on this one. First off, he gets hit before the football gets there. Jason David hits him early. 4 defenders all around him, but give him credit. Chad Johnson went right up there for it.
They're going to go for it, as you see, on 4th and a long yard.
When they threw that pass on 3rd and short, that almost told you they're going to go for it on 4th.
And a timeout called first by the Bengals. 42-34, Indy. The Bengals burn a timeout. They'll come out of it with a 4th and a long yard to go. Chris Perry is the running back. And a call on him to get it. He'll try the edge, and he doesn't get it. Gary Brackett ran right alongside with him and pushed him out as the Indianapolis defense makes its biggest play.
Yeah, it was a big play. Monte Rager gets outside. Gary Brackett, like you said, Jim, the speed of the Colts defense stops Chris Perry from turning the corner.
They ran a play trying to go for the edge to the short side of the field, and the Colts had a number of players running right along with them. And you can see it's still a good yard short. They measured for it anyway. So, two teams 110 miles apart, separated by 8 points. Colts take over on downs. Defense makes the stop on 4th and 1. Fletcher caught a touchdown on that first half. As a second grab on the game, this one goes for 8. They gave up 13 touchdowns, the Bengals, through the first 9 games of the season. Already 6 today allowed. And the Colts unable to hurry to the line because Fletcher needed to come out after an awkward hit. Back into that reception. Ben Utek takes his spot.
Yeah, you know what they're doing, Jim, that's really causing the Bengals a lot of trouble? They got 2 tight ends in. There's 1, here's 2. But Dallas Clark, he's a little in between. Tight end, and he's fast enough to be a wide receiver. So they're spreading the formation out. And it's the Bengals are in there with defensive linemen and linebackers. So it's not what you call a fast.
15 seconds.
A little adjustment
17 seconds on the play clock.
Adjust that play clock down from 25 to 17. But you see Dallas Clark in that slot, and you can't help but think about how that used to be Brandon Stokely all last year in that position.
Well, it is a lot of times. Today, I've just noticed that the Colts are playing 2 tight ends. And, well, if you're Brandon Stokely, well, the Colts, they all know their roles. So some weeks it's your time to make some catches. And this week it's Dallas Clark instead of Brandon Stokely.
And is he making catches? Edgerrin James, another run with a lot of spring to it, goes for 7. Let's go back down to Bonnie.
Jim, interesting note in hindsight of the Colts' last scoring drive. Edgerrin James wouldn't have had that shot if it weren't for the decision Peyton Manning had on 4th and 1 to go for it. The special teams were halfway on the field, and it was Payton's decision to keep the drive going. Just a testament to how much the Colts trust his decision-making ability.
And thank you, Bonnie. And he let Edgerrin pick up the yardage on that big 4th down play that led eventually to a James touchdown run, the second of the game. This time they say you're not going anywhere. Justin Smith brings the 3rd quarter to a close, setting him back 3 yards. You're watching the NFL on CBS. We begin the 4th quarter with the Colts facing 2nd down and 13, 42-34 if you're just joining us. That's right. The highest scoring first half in the league in about 20 years we had here. Manning hit when he threw it, and he was decked. Justin Smith, boy, really nailed him.
Justin Smith made a good tackle from the outside, and this time comes from the other and just gets by his man and makes Peyton Manning throw it way before he is ready to get rid of the football. He came around that time. It looked like he came around Ryan Dean.
We just talked about Stokely. He's in on this one in a slot to the left. 4 times in this game already, Peyton has converted on 3rd and outside of 10 yards. And that's what he has here, needing 13, needing just to get past midfield. More pressure. Flag is thrown and almost intercepted. Well, a flag in the backfield in the area of offensive holding.
Holding, number 78. Penalty is declined. Makes the result of the play. 4th down.
That'll bring out Hunter Smith to punt for the first time.
Tar Glenn, left tackle from your left side. Oh, he falls and he just takes Justin Smith right with him. Justin Smith has come inside both tackles on the last 2 plays.
Hunter Smith's been in the game on placements, a holder for Vanderjagt. But punting for the first time, yields the snap. And that's Ratliff. Hit right away. Excellent coverage downfield by Joseph Jefferson. Early 4th quarter, 8-point game. .5 to play in the game. And again, the Bengals down just 1 possession, if you will. Touchdown and a 2. Be interesting to see if that does occur, if they would this early go for 2 as they rip off a good run with Rudy Johnson. And this Rudy Johnson really in many ways, Phil, is an underrated back in this league. I mean, he has, since he really took over for Corey Dillon in the middle of the 03 season, he has continued to churn out the yards.
Yeah, when we came down here, I watched him, Jim. I was surprised at how quick he is. We talked to him, and he goes, when I run it, I like to lower the boom on people. Here
he is. Watch him do it. Like right there. But he also gets hit back, but able to still recover and fall for an extra yard. A gain of 5. You can see these last 3 seasons coming out of Auburn, where he played only 1 year. At Auburn, he was the one who had the 2nd single best rushing year behind Bo Jackson. Came in with 778 on the season, but 76 more added to that total and a couple of scores today. Again, all kinds of time for Palmer, who has Chad Johnson come back to pick up the first.
Chad Johnson is running the route to the inside, and he is covered. Carson Palmer wants to throw it. At the last second, he pulls it down because it's going to be intercepted. And as he pulls it down and goes to the outside, Chad Johnson changes his route. He hits him. Terrific play. Chemistry. I don't know if it came from the trip to Indianapolis, Jim, but good players, a lot of practice. That's how you develop chemistry.
Again, it's Rudy Johnson, a late flag thrown. After a gain of 3, and it's going to look like one against Cincinnati.
Holding, number 31, 10-yard penalty, remains 1st down.
Jeremy Johnson whistled for that one.
That might be the only way the Colts right now can stop this Bengals offense. They need penalties to help them. The defensive line of the Colts is doing nothing.
You know, just when it looked like they're putting a little pressure, they're setting up screen. Rudy Johnson, though, just a short gain, negligible gain.
Leslie can do that.
Across the middle, Hushmanzada to the 45. 3rd and long coming up, 3rd and 12.
As I've come down here and I've studied this Bengals team, it's loaded with young talent. The skilled positions, like Marvin Lewis said, they are terrific, and they can. There's no tricks when they play offense. It's just throwing and catching, and it's real simple. They don't try to confuse you with unique plays or a lot of formations. It's truly about just how good they are physically.
Let's see what they do on 3rd and 12. Pass picked. The Colts defense, Marlin Jackson coming up, big play. Marlin Jackson cuts back middle. There is a flag. It'll probably wipe out the long run back. Marlin Jackson, first-round pick out of Michigan, with his first pick of his NFL career.
Jim, he did a good job. He fell off the first receiver and cut in front of the second one. It caught Carson Palmer a little by surprise, and that's why he threw the interception.
Holding, number 25. After the interception and during the return, 10-yard penalty enforced from where the flag is on the ground. First down, Indianapolis.
Harper a little overzealous, trying to help his defensive mate.
Two inside routes. Oh, Carson Palmer just didn't anticipate Jackson falling back into that space where the in cut was coming to. First really bad decision I've seen by Carson Palmer all day long.
It's only the 6th interception thrown by Carson all year. And with Roethlisberger not taking any action today, he drops out of the quarterback rating stats, and Palmer becomes the highest rated quarterback in the league.
Defense has to come up. They're down 8. You can't afford to give up a field goal.
And low one, snagged by Harrison. Actually right where it had to be by Peyton. 15-yard gain.
Yeah, it's really, this is terrific execution. And you're playing Marvin Harrison. He's fast, he's shifty. You got to honor him going deep. And the Colts, they throw that route against every team 4 or 5 times a game, and they hit it probably 80% of the time.
First down from the 40. And Edrin getting quite a workout in this second half. Adds 5 to the total.
Yeah, he's getting a workout, and they're getting close to field goal range. And this is where you have a game plan coming in, how you want to attack the Colts offense. You're getting to the point where you got to change, because you got to find something different. You got to stop them right here.
55 yards in the second half by Edrin after 29 through 2 quarters. Go with him again, and he is just short, but a flag down. And it's already indicated by the officials against Indianapolis.
Well, you know it's going to be against Jeff Saturday, because he ran right up to Tom White to complain.
Holding, 62. 10-yard penalty. Remains second down.
Go get him, Gary. I've said the word Gary Hogaboom more in the last 8 weeks than
you did in his 10-year career.
Than I have yours, Jim.
Manning fires it and doubled up on Reggie Wayne and batted away.
Really good thought by Peyton Manning. He tried to throw this football and get it over Torrey James before he turns around and looks. But Torrey James is a tall defensive back, and at the last second he turns and knocks the pass down.
Case Fajarn was in the area just to help out. Stokely in to the lineup. Third down, 15. Open is Stokely, and they again convert on the long third down.
I tell you, what a throw. Peyton Manning is striping the football. Stokely is here. Once the defense drop back, and he goes across the field, and he finds an open seam. Peyton Manning anticipates it and just gets every bit he's got into the throw.
People make a big fuss about third down conversions, but today when you talk about third downs and you go outside of 10 yards, 3rd and 10 plus, they've done it 5 times. He's got a season high 350. And Harrison on the slant. Gives him 10 more.
Another good catch. Say the skill positions for both of these offenses, it's at the top of the league. There's no doubt about it.
We saw Peyton last night when they bust over from Indianapolis. He was down in the dumps about Vandy handing his Volunteers a loss.
That's right.
And And he said, you know, we beat these guys 22 straight years, and now all we're going to hear about is this one.
Yeah. Well, you can't control the Volunteers anymore, but you know what? He said a few things to us last night that, so when you talk to him, he always catches your attention with something he says. And he goes, you know, we practice well, our skill guys. We practice well every single week, and it shows on the field each week.
Well, Phil, we've got Denver and Dallas on Sunday, and the Broncos, like the Cowboys, will come into the Thanksgiving Day tradition. That Dallas tradition of hosting, that is, both with wins. A shutout win by the Broncos, 27-0 Dallas, a winner over Detroit, 20-7. And the Broncos leading that AFC West. I'd like to welcome those of you who've just joined us from that game. What a track meet we've had here. 2nd down and 1 for the Colts. And Edgerrin James moving in close to 100 now, picks up 5, and it's a goal to go for Manning and the Colts. Manning has thrown for over 350 plus 3 scores. Edgerrin James has run for 2.
And now, even though they're in the no huddle, you want to make sure you take the clock down as low as you can. Eliminate the time to give the Bengals less clock to use if they're going to try to make a comeback.
First and goal, looking left. There's the man, Reggie Wayne, and he is dropped about 2 yards shy.
Wow. Carson Palmer throws one bad pass, and he's just got to sit there and watch the Colts offense methodically just march down the field. Another good throw inside by Peyton Manning.
Will it be Edgerrin's number again? It is. This time he is stopped short. Nice hit there by Ohaleti.
That's good. You got it right that time.
I've had it all day long. You care to give it a shot?
Well, they were probably going to try to substitute some offensive players in, and Peyton Manning said, no way. Leave them in here the way we got it.
Third and goal. Pass incomplete. Thought he could hit Harrison, but Delta O'Neal reached in and batted away.
Yeah, this is on the top of your screen. Marvin Harrison comes in. Good timing by Delta O'Neal. And the Colts, no choice what you're going to do here. 4th and 1, you have to kick the field goal to go up by 11 points. 2 scores.
Talking about Manning lamenting about Vandy yesterday. Well, here's a Vandy he likes because he adds 3 to the total. That one from 20 yards.
I'll talk to you I'll talk about that during the commercial.
On the flight to Dallas.
Yeah.
45-34. We're back. Well, it's been a beautiful day here in Cincinnati.
I got some disturbing news just now. Our producer, Lance Barrow, is down in the truck eating an apple.
Hey, 1 piece of fruit a year?
Yeah, there you
Something
go.
wrong with that?
His body will be in shock tonight.
Probably put some barbecue sauce on it. Of course, he gets to host this week down in Dallas as the Colts are now up 11. Look at that hit on Perry. That was Robert Mathis. We'll be right back. I wonder how you watch the game through that. 6 minutes to go. And the Bengals, they got picked the last time. And Perry darting outside with that lateral move, and he's up to the 35-yard line. Chris Perry with 8 yards on that one.
Well, the Bengals in a situation right here Of course, they've got to score. They need 2 scores to win this football game. So right away, even now, you're in 4-down territory. And don't be so concerned with the clock. Just get that first score, then decide what to do.
Look at Perry with another sprint for 14.
Yes, and what a good play call. Showing patience and just not throwing it every down. And look at Dwight Freeney in the defensive end. Sorry, I'm a little late. Way up the field. You don't even have to concern yourself with blocking them. That's why when they run up inside, there are such big running lanes.
Perry averaging over 10 yards an attempt today. Over 80 yards, spelling Rudy Johnson with great effectiveness. With all kinds of room to operate in that pocket. And that one thrown in the area of Chad Johnson.
Dwight Freeney is getting so wide trying to get a pass rush. Look how far he is. Levi Jones sits back, nice spin, and then he gets double teamed by Eric Steinbeck, and down he goes. He told us last night, look, I'm used to it. Double teams, I don't worry about it. I just beat the first guy, and if there's another one there, I try to beat him.
Freeney with 7 sacks on the season. Won the sack title last year, and that's another incompletion. 3rd down on the way. That was over in the area of Chris Henry.
Yes, and he was open. Carson Palmer, that's the first time I've seen him just get a little quick and rushed. Pass protection was tremendous. Once again, the timing was just not there. And you could see the frustration in Carson Palmer's face.
Well, they're down a touchdown, a 2, and a field goal.
I'll tell you, too, this is the best pass protecting line I've seen in a long time.
Again, they protect them. The pass underneath to about 3 to 4 yards shy. Hushmanzada, and they're going to have to go for it at this point.
Yep, they do. Showing good patience. Keep it into a situation where your chances of picking it up are much greater, of course, by throwing that one short.
They'll need 4 yards to keep it going. Crowd rising to its feet.
Well,
all kinds of time on the slant, and Hushmanzada maybe led just a bit too much. Marlin Jackson was on the coverage.
I think you're right, in the slot. Marlin Jackson, number 28. Does he grab him before the football gets there? Carson Palmer, he can see it. He knows his receiver could not put both hands out there to catch it.
Oh, there is a flag now. This is a good 15 seconds after the play. So I can't imagine it's related to that. Tom White will sort it out.
Picking up the flag. There's no foul on the play.
Well, that broke some hearts around here, because now Indianapolis and its almost unstoppable offense comes on with 4:17 to play. Of course, for Peyton Manning and the Colts trying to take care of business today with Cincinnati, and they'll next up play the Bengals' rival in their division, Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh going down today at the hands of Baltimore in overtime as Roethlisberger was out of action. Peyton's pass over the head of everyone, over the head of Reggie Wayne. And we'd like to welcome those of you who saw the Chargers put up a big win coming off their bye week to improve now on the season to 6-4. Drew Brees had it cooking big time in that first half with 4 touchdown passes. Peyton Manning looking for another one, and Reggie Wayne lays out for it, just a bit off.
Well, the Colts are throwing the football because the Bengals are coming with the blitz. And that time, Kevin Casefaharn got to Peyton Manning and made him rush the throw just a little bit. Again, if he could just throw it in the air a little higher, Reggie Wayne would have just run under it for a touchdown.
Another 3rd and 10 for Manning. And the Colts, who have attempted 2 passes on this series, used up no time. Open man, and Harrison was out. Incomplete. He was open.
Yeah, that's going to be a frustrating series for the Indianapolis Colts. 3 times they had the receivers open. Peyton Manning all 3 times was under pressure and just a little bit off the mark. And look at Tony Dungy's face. He's going, I can't believe it. We didn't take 1 second off the clock.
That drive burned only 20 seconds. And for the second time in the quarter, second time all day, Hunter Smith is called to duty. Ratliff with the fair catch. Peyton Manning, his highest yardage total of the season, and 3 touchdown strikes, including the big one, the Wayne. We are back, and still some hope for the Bengals with 3:49 to go, down 11. Now they came out of the locker room the third quarter. Bing, bing, bing into the end zone. And again, the Colts allowing this underneath stuff to Chris Perry for 8. There's Tom Moore and Peyton Manning having.
Oh yeah, they're having a discussion about the last series because so much is in Peyton Manning's hands. I'm sure there were some runs sent in, and he said, look, if they're going to blitz me, I'm going to go ahead and burn them and in this football game. And he just missed, but he missed.
Second down and 2. And again, excellent protection that behind Perry. 3rd and short coming up. 3rd down and 2 to go. All right. This crowd has really quieted down here, and this team needs a little emotional charge. Maybe we'll rally them a bit. That's enough for the first.
Well, 45 points by the opposing team will settle you down just a little bit.
Yeah. But if you walked into the arena and you told your fans, we're going to put 34 up today for you,
oh, they
might have thought they'd have a chance.
Even against the Colts, you say that's a victory.
Here is Chad Johnson. There he is, near the 50.
I tell you, even if the Bengals lose this game today, their offensive line performance is one of the best things I've seen all year long in the NFL. Chad Johnson goes up the field, finds the open spot along the sideline, and a terrific throw by Carson Palmer. Look at Dwight Freeney, one-on-one. He's been singled up a lot today, and he's getting blocked.
Career high for Chad, 189. Looking down, way down, and what a catch out of the backfield. Chris Perry.
And now you're seeing why the Colts were upset after their last drive, because that 3 and out with all passes has allowed the Cincinnati Bengals to still be in this game.
Even if they had to, if they got shut down, they still need the touchdown, the 2, and a field goal. They could still attempt one, although they have far larger goals on this series. And this might bring us to the 2-minute warning if the Bengals don't stop it. Remember, they used a timeout earlier in this half, right before a 4th and 1, which was stopped. They're hurrying to the line. And they won't get a playoff before the 2-minute warning.
He's watching the play clock instead of the game clock.
That's right.
He gets caught. Coaches have to warn you about that as a quarterback.
How about that catch? Keep Cincinnati's hopes alive. Two minutes remaining, and Cincinnati with the football at the Colts 23. Remember, they started this all the way back inside of their own 20. 2 timeouts to operate with. And now they get to Palmer for the first time, and it's Robert Mathis, his 10th sack of the season, a player who averages not even 20 snaps a game.
Tony Dungy said, I don't want to play him full time because he's such a good special teams player. What a time to come up with a sack.
And a flag before the snap. That was a big play by Robert Mathis. You've been waiting for that one. a defensive end who weighs 235 pounds.
6 foot tall.
Said I came into the league at 235.
False start. Number 84. Offense. It's a 5-yard penalty. Remains third down.
When you said, well, what do you weigh now?
235.
235.
Played at Alabama A&M.
Got their last scholarship. The only one they used. That was the only school that offered them a scholarship.
Yeah, that's a 1AA school.
John Stallworth went there. Hall of Famer from the Steelers.
Tony Dungy said watching a tape on him was the most impressive tape he has ever seen by a player. So that's why he's with the Colts.
Third and a whole half a field almost to go. Schobel down at the 26.
Run your field goal team on right now.
A timeout called by the Bengals. You've got it. All right, thank you, Greg.
You know, Jim, I would not have called a timeout. Run them out there real fast, kick the football. Now when you kick off, if you don't recover, you can stop it twice with 2 timeouts, and you still could maybe somewhere get 1 shot to throw in the end zone. So, you know, game management, I think it's a pretty big deal. I would not have wasted my time out here. You should have had the field goal team ready. They called a play, knowing it was going to be tough to pick up the 3rd down. They picked up some yards, wasted a timeout.
44-yard try by Graham. 2 for 2 today. And this one absolutely perfect again. Now the must onside kick. Greg's update talking about Seattle now. 8-2 with that win. A nail-biter it was at San Francisco with a 4-game lead now in that NFC West. But coming into the day, you had the Colts, of course, undefeated. The next best records in football, you had to go back to 7-2. Cincinnati was one of 5 coming into the day at 7-2. 2 of them have lost already at 7-2, Pittsburgh and Carolina. And the Bengals could also become the 3rd.
Well, what this league usually does, what's it do, Jim? As the year goes along, they just bunch up tighter. And
except in the Colts case.
Well, the Colts, yes, they are separating themselves from the pack. But no matter what, even though they're going to be 10-0, maybe today they'll be 10-0, people are still going to go, but look at the points they gave up. And rightly so.
You know, 2 years ago, this caught a lot of attention, grabbed a lot of attention all week. Kansas City came in here 9-0 and got beaten by the Bengals, who were 4-5 going into that game. And Tony Dungy said it best last night. Really, no one should draw any parallels out of that. It was a different situation. Cincinnati then had nothing to play for. There was no pressure on them that day.
Really good analogy by Tony Dungy. It's a lot different when you're 7-2 and expectations are high. And here comes the onside kick, and this is basically the Bengals' last chance. They must recover this onside kick.
Marvin Harrison is out. Reggie Wayne, Fletcher the tight end, Cato June. Justin Snow, their long snapper.
Well, I don't know what happened, but
well, now they're ready to go.
Stay back.
Got to dupe him by going left and over the pack. Some funny hops. Dallas Clark is the one who is there to fall on it. There is a flag in the area of the recovery, not back where the football was pooched over that line.
that was a well-orchestrated idea. Dallas Clark makes that's a tough recovery.
Pretty fitting that it ends up in Clark's hands, given the game he's had today. 6 catches, 125 yards, and a touchdown.
Well, we talked to him last night. Comes romping into the room, doesn't he? Feeling good. Good energy. just said,
You know, if the Colts
penalty, what it is, I have no idea. Did the Bengals run out of bounds? One of the kickoff people?
It was Tab Perry for the Bengals who was chasing after it. He may have.
Did he run out of bounds without being pushed out to gain an advantage?
Unless they're going to re-kick it, and this game is going to be over in Indianapolis. It appears is on its way to the first 10-0 season we've seen in this league since the Denver Broncos of '98. And they went beyond 10-0 before the Giants beat them, and of course they still went on to win a Super Bowl, the Broncos. You had a 10-0 season one time back in 1990. See what Tom White explains. Indianapolis ball.
Holding number 98 on the receiving team during the kick prior to them gaining possession. That's a 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. We'll re-kick.
All right, so let's not put that win in the W column yet. There's another chance here for Cincinnati.
I tell you, that onside kick that they tried was such a good idea because it was going down the field. So if you recover it, it makes it so much easier to try to go in and score. Over, and look how far it goes down the field, the open space. And watch Dallas Clark. Boy, that's tough. Scoops it with his right hand and falls on it. That is, sometimes you got to be lucky just to recover the bouncing ball on this field. And Jim, to go back, if the Colts do hold on to this game and win, Tony Dungy says, hey, we like the stage and the spotlight. Well, every victory you get, what did I say last night? A couple more weeks, everybody in your team's going to know every single member of that 72 Dolphins team. Because that's all you're going to hear. Can they do it? Can they go undefeated? The attention, the distractions, they multiply. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons why no team has done it in so long.
How was it for you in 1990 at 10-0?
It didn't get too bad. Because the San Francisco 49ers also were 10-0. And, you know, we gave it up after that 10th when we said, we'll just lose one to get the attention off of us.
Yeah, sure.
So
I'm sure you approached it that way. But Peyton said, despite all the, histrionics, hysteria, whatever you want to call it, that people are going to make out of this undefeated bid, if you really talk to Tony Dungy, it's all about right now, let's win the AFC South.
Yeah, that's right.
He said, am I kidding? That's what he talks about.
Win a few battles, you can win the war. Look at the small things first, because that takes care of the big picture. And I don't know what's going on, but
it's just like what happened before they even attempted the first time.
I think they're trying to clarify the rule, and here we go again.
And it's a 10-yard holding call against the Colts, so now you kick it from the 40 instead of the 30.
The penalty for holding, since it was during the kick, the receiving team is still on the defense. There's no change of possession, so therefore it's a 5-yard penalty.
All right, make it the 35 then. So they do sort it out.
Well, by the time they sorted it out, we had 15,000 fans leave.
Now you tried to cross them up last time by going left, and they flood the other side. Graham facing a whole wave of Colts. Is it coming at him? Not sure it traveled to 10 yards. And recovered by Reggie Wayne after 9 yards.
Reggie Wayne saw the football bounce up. It was perfect to go catch. Good judgment. And he gets it done.
It's one of these ones where like Shane Graham has to kind of run after it. He's asking for some punishment. And Graham gets taken out. Monroe chasing after it. Reggie Wayne saw it, though, did what he had to do.
Well, that's a good job. If he lets that go one more yard, it's going to be tough for the Colts to recover it. Good decision by Reggie Wayne.
Wayne and Clark each over 100 yards receiving today, and they each recover an onside kick, but only the Wayne one goes in the books. Game summary, if we showed it all the scores, it'd take you some time, but Manning 365 and 3 touchdowns, including Fletcher whose brother Terrell Fletcher was a running back for the Chargers a few years ago. Edgerrin James, 89 yards, 2 touchdowns. Clark with career numbers. Palmer and Manning combined for exactly 700 yards of passing. And again, another conference taking place as they drag out the final minute and 18 seconds. And we got some kneel downs. They do have one timeout. Should they want to take it, Cincinnati. So the Colts join this group, this elite group of teams to begin it since 1980, 10-0. And as you see, the first since the '98 Broncos. And that puts now the Colts 3 games just as they started today. Jacksonville had a scary one in Nashville, won by a field goal. Pittsburgh and Cincinnati both fall today in the north. Cincinnati will take on Baltimore next week. Pittsburgh travels to Indianapolis. Hey, on this beginning now of this week of thanks, this season of thanks, we extend ours to this entire crew led by Lance Barrow and Mike Arnold, all the men and women of this crew now heading down to Texas. We'll look forward to bringing you the Cowboys and the Broncos on Thanksgiving afternoon. Again, it all gets started with the NFL today at 3:30 Eastern Time. .45-37 is the final. Indianapolis prevails.